and I almost sort of feel it's like almost like as you say, I know lots of people do have they might show their affection in different ways. Some people are very like that, but even if they are like that in real life, you sort of, most people be like, oh, I'm on a YouTube video now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm you know what I mean?
Professional, yeah. It's not very professional, actually.
If it would be an occasional thing, but it's a consistent thing in that, it's a bit grating, and it would be one of the initial things that I came away with finding. It's because it's anything, at least the fakeness is a problem.
Yes, there's a lot of fakeness.
An element of that, yeah.
Yeah, that's very true, and that's definitely one of the things that bothers me. I don't want to make too many speculations about their relationship because they are real people, and I have seen a lot of like theorizing about even up to speculations about abuse. I can't speak on that. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I'm never going to know that. Thankfully, in some ways, there's things I don't want to be seen, but they make it. They do put things in too much graphic detail, shall we say? Which I don't know if you notice as well in terms of like the sex toys videos.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, to me, these things don't feel educational. They feel like reaching again for. And as you say, when they're supposed to be having younger viewers as well, for any younger viewers, some may question the way they approach certain things.
Exactly, it's definitely problematic, because. Yeah, I mean, you said it well, really. There's no educational value in it, and honestly, I do find it gross. Not because they're women, in the slightest. I just find it gross because it's them. That's how I can. That's all I can say, really. I find it gross because I don't need to know those details about anyone's lives. I don't want to know the ins and outs. I don't need to. And I would never put that information out there.
No. I don't know if you've ever read, say, in a magazine, a newspaper, or seen a famous couple on TV where there's been a lot of speculation that maybe they're not, and I'm not saying that they're not happy, we're talking about, but just say there's been speculation that this celebrity couple has not been happy, and then they go over the top, like making up for it in front of the camera, or in an interview, they're too gushing. That's what their YouTube videos feel like. I'm not necessarily saying that it's because they're not happy, so they're trying to go, but it just feels like there's a reassurance there.
Yeah, that's how it comes across, though, doesn't it? I think that combined with just the shock factor, for views. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but Julia literally can't upload a video without the title being lesbian age gap couple, because at this point that's all they've got going for them. The music is gone, the personality's gone. Yeah, that's it.
That caught my eye, and that's a very interesting one. Now because there's a lot about obviously titles on YouTube are a big thing, because obviously there's a problem of them being clickbaity. Yeah. Now you can look at this two ways. So like in a way, I can understand why YouTuber might put in their tag, and they might put in their title if they're a gay couple, for example, or if their videos are featuring around something that's specifically for the gay community. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and that because that may be something that someone's particularly looking for. But then, in another way, you also think, oh, hold on a minute, isn't it a shame in the way that we even have to mention anything, because it should be equal for all couples. Just put a regular title. That's like what the video is about.
Because it just gets boring after a while. Like, I already know your gender and your sexuality and how many years there are between you. Like, why do we have to keep going over it?
So I guess again, it's the concern is that something to do with as you said, that sort of becoming their brand, rather than sort of what they're actually uploading to YouTube, rather than any sort of particular video of interest. They're just sort of using that, and that's a problem, and that's may be off-putting.
It's definitely off-putting, and it is harmful because, as we mentioned a couple of times, their viewers tend to be quite young, and that is where I started to become concerned regarding the way in which they portray age gap relationships. So I know we talked previously off the podcast about our thoughts on age gaps. So mine just being that I used to I'd say up until about a year ago, I was a little bit too extreme with my age gaps. Like I couldn't see any issue in me dating a 40-year-old, for example, so long as I was safe and comfortable, and it can work. I do think that can still work. I think 20 and 40 is like, well, I'd rather it was like 25 and 45, but it really, I take it more on a case by case basis, basically. I with the exception of like a couple of them, most older men I've dated, I've been completely safe and happy and comfortable. But now I'm like, now I kind of, I've lowered the age essentially because I think more now in realistic terms, because I want to grow old with my partner. I don't want there to be too many years between us to the point where we don't have anything in common. And also, it's a safety thing as well, because I'm at a different point in my life, and therefore I could be a little bit more vulnerable to being what's the word? Maybe if someone was too possessive over me, or financial abuse. Anything can happen. Those things can happen with someone of any age, but I just tend to now think a bit more realistically in terms of age gap, and now my boyfriend is still in his 20s but almost 30, and I feel like that's just about right for me. I probably now wouldn't go for much older than that, to be honest. So that's just my personal limit and my comfort level. But what do you think generally about age gaps, and for yourself, what would be your kind of rule?
Age gap is like one of the most interesting subjects that comes up in relationships for me. So I see things from different perspectives. Like me personally, like it's like I've got no problem, like how to put this, in general of an age gap.
Okay.
But it's what questions in my mind is more about the where the age gap lies, and not so much how many years of the age gap, but more where it lies. So, for example, if you had someone who's young, like say, they could still be like 17, 18, something like that, and then they're going out with someone who's in their 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I always keep in that sort of. But in terms of like 30 years, if somebody said there's a 30-year age gap, I'll be like, well, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
However, when someone is a lot younger, like because they're in the younger stage of their life, so for example, they're in their 20s, and then somebody in their 60s, say for example.
Yeah, like Julia and Eileen,
Yeah, that's why I thought of that. I'm very interested about what the dynamic is there.
Right.
I know everyone, is after different things in a relationship. But as you say, like when you mentioned about wanting to grow older with something, obviously 60, is not ancient, but obviously it's out a very, I'm trying to find the best word for this, it's a very advanced stage to that 20-year-old. And I'm just wondering, what, very interesting the dynamic there, because like I get it, because as I say, like from where I say like from 18, 19, 20, he said I missed out in this a little bit in the sense of going after like girls at the time who were my age. I always went for older girls, and when I say not even girls, older women, like 30 or 40s kind of thing. Yeah, and that was just a thing. People have that, and it weren't dodgy for me. You know what I mean? You know, but I don't know. I know gender always comes from. It's the question: is it different? Is some household that way to be? You know,
unfortunately, I don't think it should be any different personally. I think it should be the same, but people view it differently.
But society definitely on the whole probably doesn't it?
Unfortunately, yeah, because to me, for me, I'm just like, can we just, unless you're a teenager or very early 20s, can we just stop dating teenagers? I'm just like, for 2020, can we stop dating teenagers? Because I'm still seeing so many people trying to justify it, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't know, for me, because I spent very little time actually liking boys my own age. I maybe spent about 2 years liking boys my own age, and then I decided actually I prefer older guys. But I still waited until I was actually in my 20s to start dating older men, you know, because well, a lot of it is about brain development and maturity, you know. I think it's something like, I don't know the exact age, but I think it's like our brain is only fully matured at age 25 or something. So that's why, you know, we need to especially be careful. Not only that, but again, differences in where you're at in life. A teenager might not have enough money to get them out of a bad situation, and that's where the financial abuse comes in. So even though Julia and Eileen are both adults, I do think it's still an issue because, well, you know, for a few reasons. One, because like you said, they can't grow old with each other, and some people might be fine with that. Don't get me wrong. It's fine if you've accepted that, but at this point, I'm like, what could they have in common? To be honest, because you can even find it hard to find something in common with someone 10 years older than you, never mind 37. So I don't get how that works, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of very interesting points there, because again, it's one of those things that I wish I didn't have to say, but I will just say it because, you know, we have obviously listeners, and, you know, you just rather just put it straight. Obviously, anyone who's obviously underage, too young, obviously that is not acceptable.
Well, we'll get on to that anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about sort of, you know, early 20s.
Yeah.
Or, then we're talking about the older teens. Now, what you say about the brain not development, that's very, very interesting to me, because I know a lot of, say, guys my age. No, sorry. When I was, like, say, 17 or 18, a lot of guys may have been going out with older women who may have been in the 30s, 40s. And there was also, no doubt, there would be some women who were, say, 17, 18, going out with men who were 30.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's interesting to say, because that has, I'm also taking your perspective there, because in that respect is not how I thought about it, and it doesn't. I've never gone after anyone young, because as I said, I've always been interested in people older, or not even hardly my age. I've always been older, but I guess now I am that bit older. It will be a bit more my age. But I'm not interested in anyone, you know, really young. So I don't have that in my head. So, and obviously that's not to say people my age go out with people younger. There's a problem there, because, you know, people could be my age. I'm quite 31 for this now.
It just depends on the age, really.
Who might sort of go out with 20-year-olds, and they might well have a good relationship.
I'm okay with that, 20-year-old, I'm okay with that. You again, just be a little bit careful, but in terms of how you treat them. But that goes with everyone. You know, treat your partner nicely.
I think that that's a good thing about what it comes down to. You should respect the situation and be extra sensitive. Because of the age. So if we sort of bring that back to Eileen and Julia, is there? Yeah, because I don't know how to like how to put this. So just to sort of be clear, is their relationship part of the thing in terms of their age gap? Does that put you off their sort of their viewing their content to a certain extent?
Yeah, I would say so. I do think 37 years is an issue. So I didn't used to think that. I was more open-minded in terms of that. But now I think, there does have to be a limit, even when they're both adults, because of things like the impracticalities, of one person still being young when they're having to basically take care of an elderly partner. I think that at that point it just seems like too many disadvantages and not enough advantages, really.
Because the sheer amount of the gap in between. Because where I was saying, I thought, I think there doesn't necessarily have to be a limit. Like, there's 20-year-olds that go out with 17-year-olds. It's very, very rare.
Again, I have a problem with that. I don't think that's right at all.
So in my head, I think that if there's, I don't know, say a big age gap, like if they're in their, say somebody's near their late 60s or something, and they're going out for 30-year-old, that's not a relationship I would choose. But I could think in my head, I'm going, well, if it's working for both of them, fine. But also in my head, I'm going, they're in such different stages of their life. I will be interested to know, what they get from that. If they're not technically, they're not doing no harm to anyone. But it's quite difficult to assess when it's not. In a way, it's not relevant to us because obviously we are not in that situation. But then again, obviously we all have our opinions on. Yeah, so I think it's the volume of the age gap, like because of how many. Like, I know problem necessarily with an age gap at all. It does, if I won't be one of those people who made comments because I don't know. I don't know, like a 40-year-old was with even just a 30-year-old. Some people might go, "Oh, she's so much younger."
No, that's fine to me.
Like that. Yeah, no, I don't find 10 years seems much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like when I see Eileen and Julia's videos, it's kind of like there's some in their 60s, there's some in their 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to judge, but I do question a lot what could be gained from that sort of relationship, because I feel like, okay, yes, you can make the argument you can't help who you fall in love with, but at the same time, love isn't always enough. You do also need to have practicalities in order to, make a relationship work. So you can't really just say, you can't really just use the love aspect on its own.
No, and it's not obviously all about like looks and things like that. But obviously, in the nicest possible way, Julia, you could say, it sounds right to sort of say in her prime and still obviously in a younger, stage.
Yeah,
of her
she's
life.
very attractive. That's what I mean.
And Eileen, obviously, is not in a younger stage of her life.
Right.
And I don't mean to sound rude by saying she's not in her prime, but obviously,
Oh no, she's in her 60s.
Certain age. Yeah.
It's not all about looks, but again, I find it hard to imagine being attracted to someone that much older than me when I'm not that age.
Yeah, because it might be, I think that sounded snarky, it would be easy to see what Eileen would see. Yes,
of course. Who wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'll have an extremely young wife. Yeah.
Well, so from Julia's perspective, again, that means she's not obviously hung up on having to go out with somebody her own age or only slightly older. So maybe in some ways that's a good thing, but I don't know. But then, and the other thing that would nibble, or whatever the word is, nibble at me, and I'm not...
Did you say nibble?
Yeah, I can't think what the word is. I'm sure it was
niggle.
Nibble and...
Niggle.
Oh, niggle.
I hope that came out clearly, because otherwise it will sound like I'm saying a very bad word. But I'm saying when something bothers you. Yeah.
Is the thing? Yeah, the thing that would niggle at me. And I'm not making this allegation, but I wonder if some people think that, again, this is their kind of brand they're going for, having the older woman and younger woman thing. Is it something that they're both playing up to?
Right. Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it, without, speculating. Yeah. But, who knows? I think those are valid points. The other thing to do with... this before we move on to another point, but I think this is one of the biggest things, is in terms of them essentially promoting paedophilia with their newest videos, particularly the video where Julia and Eileen give advice on how to date older people. So that was the one where I mentioned to you, I don't know if you remember, that there were children in the comments basically saying, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in dating older women. Thank you for telling me how I can go about that." And then we had the other side of it, particularly I think it was a 20-year-old woman saying about how she is attracted to 15-year-olds. So basically we had a paedophile in the comments who watches their videos.
That exactly those kind of videos. Yeah. Now, I mean, first of all, I don't know if this is just me, but was there ever any need for that kind of video? I mean, I don't know if you know what I mean, but I might see websites, that I've seen it mostly, I think I've only seen it from a female perspective. So it'd be like a magazine aimed at female. Maybe something like Cosmopolitan, but not necessarily that kind, but just as an example, not necessarily that one. And they might have an article like, so it might be like tips for dating an older man. And when they're talking about it, obviously they're not talking about people who are too young going after an older man, or vice versa, man going after, but in terms of their video, I'm thinking, but what is the need to actually put that out there? If people were going to get involved with somebody older, they would kind of. I don't really see what their video could possibly gain. And then obviously we've seen the dangers and the problems with it via what's on the comment. Yeah, you can get the wrong sort of comment on any video, but naturally that kind of video would attract the wrong sort, in that context. And I know YouTube can't do everything, but this is, to be honest, it's the sort of thing that so
they should be,
that should actually be flagged, in a way. But I don't find this video of theirs helpful at all.
It's not. It does way more harm than good, in my opinion. I have another comment here, which was very recent, actually. And it said, "Hi, Julia. I've just found your channel, and I love that you love the one you love, if that makes sense. I'm also a lesbian, and I'm 12 years old. I would love to get some tips from you. I'm shy for telling others that I am a lesbian." So, again, we have further proof that children are mostly the people who watch her videos and are fans of hers. And again, we have... Now, I don't want this to come across as saying, they're promoting being gay. Being gay isn't a choice, first of all, so it wouldn't work that way. But, I think someone else said this as well. I have doubts that a 12-year-old would be a lesbian. Do you get where I'm kind of going with this? Or does this sound completely wrong?
No, that was the initial thought that went into my head. I think, people know about their sexuality at different ages.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, it can obviously take into adulthood quite commonly before people truly realise their sexuality. But, it's a tricky one. I know sometimes very, very young teenagers can nice, and obviously 12 is
Sure.
getting on to becoming a teenager. So it's a tricky one, but I also think there is a point to say that's a very, very young child we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, is this? I mean, they can, sort of think about this. I don't know how to put this in context of the video. The videos certainly aren't great for a 12-year-old.
No, exactly.
It's a real problem.
Not appropriate.
Yeah, they've got this young audience, and I assume they're aware of this young audience.
Well, yeah, but they choose to ignore that, it seems.
Yeah, this is it. Sorry, I just need to close it because it's in the way of your picture.
Okay.
Oh, stop it, Google Chrome. Google Chrome, okay. Right, yeah. Yeah, so videos are not suitable for someone of that age. And,
no. And,
no disclaimers on their video, do they?
Exactly.
We're not going to talk about adult content.
Right. They tried to do a disclaimer, and the only thing was they said, of course, we are only talking about people over the age of 18. Now, to me, that's not much better, because you're still saying that it's perfectly fine for an 18-year-old to date a 40-year-old. Do you see what I mean? Just because they're over the age of 18 doesn't mean that it's necessarily okay. It still depends. Does that make sense? Yeah. With children, obviously, it's just no, it shouldn't be happening at all.
Right.
But even with older teenagers, you still need to be careful of the age gap and mindful of that. So I thought that was such a weak disclaimer. But yeah, about the 12-year-old, I guess, yeah, because the thing is, yeah, you can definitely know who you like, because flipping it around, I knew I liked boys at 12. I had crushes on boys at school when I was at school. And then my crushes became the cast of Glee, probably, or other people on TV or movies. So I always knew that I liked boys. So she can know that she likes girls. However, I do get the feeling that there's also probably some influence there from what she sees from Julia.
A very important angle there.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like it's someone who's very, very young could get influenced by these videos. And again, that's why they have a responsibility to be careful about the topic they're talking about and how they act.
Yeah, if she wants to go out with another 12-year-old girl, that's absolutely fine, as long as, they're not doing anything inappropriate.
No.
As long as it's age appropriate, the way that they're dating. But the fact is, it's the promotion of these age gap relationships which seems to be making children think, oh, it's okay for me to like and go out with older people, and it's making adults think, oh, it's okay for me to like and go out with children. So, that's where I have a huge issue.
And obviously, when you're 12, you have a very impressionable mind. And, typical 12-year-old. The way they sort of think, and you think that could even lead to the idea that, it's okay if adults showing interest, I can go after adults a certain way. That's obviously very dangerous. So, yeah, there is I would be concerned about their younger audience, definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned. So, okay, well, maybe there's a couple of kind of lighter things I wanted to move on to before we kind of finish with their relationship, and that was their cat. Were you aware that they had a cat?
Yeah, I like cats. I want a cat.
Yeah, cats are
so
cute.
far I'm allowed. Otherwise I would have had a cat.
Yeah.
Cats never used to be my favourite animal.
Same,
but
actually.
I started to warm to them because of their personalities are the best.
Yes, true. They're very funny.
I just watched a video on YouTube earlier where a person that did their blinds up because they propped them up because too much light was coming from. The cat's just sitting there and pulls them down again. So he pulls them down. It's just like they're there to wind people.
I know.
They are the theme of animals and they're great.
They're so funny. I know. I love cats.
And they can be affectionate as well. well.
Yeah, they
as
can.
much as I like dogs, it's cats that that I have running up to my legs sometimes.
Yeah.
They're hard to win over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you earn their trust. So they've got. I didn't actually see their cats in it.
Okay, well, that's actually not surprising, because basically, essentially, that they are, on top of everything else, not very good cat owners, despite claiming to be vegans who care about animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so their cat Brittany, very sweet cat, but I think it was like just a couple of weeks after they got Brittany, they left her to go on a holiday. Literally a couple of weeks after they got her, in one of the most important times of her development, as a kitten, they were like, no, bye, we're going, and left her with a friend. And then they did it again several times. They kept, going on these holidays and leaving her behind. And then they had the cheek, while they were on a holiday in Turkey, to talk about the plight of the stray cats there, and how they found a stray cat and they were feeding it, even though they knew it was going to have to be put down. And yet they've got a cat themselves that they could have been looking after instead of jetting off to Turkey, So that's just something that kind of bothers me generally. It's not the biggest thing, but it's like, come on, you can't claim to care about animals and then not even care for your own pet.
So, yeah. They've still got the cat now?
Yes, they've still got the cat somehow, but I don't see, and they're completely aware of all of these things, by the way, that people have noticed about them, because you'll notice that then after people have complained about, let's say, them neglecting their cat, they'll put up a picture of their cat after not having posted a picture of her for ages, saying, look, we love our cat so much, can you see how much we love our cat? We love spending time with our cat.
Yeah, I thought certain reactions were from what people put in the comments, and we just need to mention about the comments, don't we? Because I was surprised about the lack of negative comments based on
yes, I see what you mean now.
And I was a little bit confused where they'd all gone.
They've been deleted. Erased from the internet.
And here's the thing, YouTube needs to give us the right to delete comments, because unfortunately some people will be idiots and put abusive comments, or just put comments, or spammy comments even, so we need the ability to delete comments. That's fine. But if you can just delete a comment when somebody's made a good point, and you just deleted that just because it's sort of like, it's
criticising,
something we do. Yeah, it's criticism. Then it's a bit of a problem, because you're basically, it was appearing like it was to me that they've not had any criticism. So if you weren't able to sort of inform me, I would have gone, wow, I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
No criticism for all I've learned so far today. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's the deleting of the comments does bother me. I was confused at first why I've seen so many positive comments, but it all makes sense now. It's such a cowardly way to go about it, in my opinion. So that's the comments. Anything else you wanted to say about the comments before I've got one more point I wanted to make?
I think that's it.
Okay, well, the last one was one I meant to mention when we were talking about Julia by herself, but it can be about the relationship anyway, and that is the cosmetic procedures. So, like I said, so this one also hit differently because, like I said, I always thought Julia had the perfect body. So when she started getting cosmetic procedures done, I was really shocked, to be honest, because I thought, like, wow, if she, of all people, needs this done, or feels that she needs this done, then it's like the rest of us have no hope then, but it's also very sad because it clearly stems from, her issues with her body image and thinking, oh, well, every YouTuber who wants to make it in LA has to have these procedures, so I have to as well. And it's just terribly sad to me, to be honest.
That is sad. If that's a kind of thought process there, that is
Yeah.
very sad. Yeah, she thinks that.
Yeah, thankfully some of the things she had done were temporary. So in terms of lip fillers and cheek fillers, those are, well, I say they're temporary. I'm not completely sure. They may still have lasting effects on the skin, but what I mean is her lips definitely don't look as blown up as they were for quite a while, thankfully. But I still thought it was harmful for her to be promoting these things because she didn't explain it in a responsible way. Again, remembering that she is someone with a very young following. You know, she could have said, like, yes, I had this and this done, and these are very big decisions to make. Do not take this lightly. You do not need to have these procedures in order to be beautiful. You're absolutely fine as you are. This is just something, you know, that I wanted to do for myself. No, it was not portrayed like that in the slightest, and that's why I have such an issue with it. So, and then her teeth. She, I think it's called crowns. People kept calling it veneers, but I don't think it was veneers. I think it was crowns. She basically got her healthy teeth completely shaved down, so they'll never be the same again, and she got fake teeth on top of those. She had no issues with her teeth. There were maybe like 2, you know, unnecessary comments saying like, oh, your teeth are bad. I always thought she had lovely teeth, personally. I didn't see anything wrong with her teeth, and now she's gone and ruined them and has this huge, you know, plastic fake smile, literally. And that, to me, was also very sad, because at least the other things she did were mostly temporary. She will never get back her natural teeth. Those are gone forever now. And that was just so sad to me. And again, very irresponsible how she portrayed getting it done. She did not need to. Who knows what procedure will be next? Probably boob job, since she keeps saying she's got no tits. Who knows? But it's also unnecessary and just sad to see, really.
It has a certain amount of responsibility when you've got a YouTube channel with that amount of followers, and especially because they're young followers. This is the problem it comes back to. You have to, you know your audience, they say.
Of course, yes.
And to be on a YouTube platform, you know, you've got to be responsible. And that way people make the odd say, don't take the best way, that's fine. But in general, things like that, as you say, she could have at least explained in a more responsible way.
Yeah, she could have. There were definitely more responsible ways to do it, because, you know, even if you're a YouTuber with a young following, you're still going to make some decisions sometimes which, you know, maybe not everyone agrees with, such as cosmetic procedures. But as long as you explain it in a way that doesn't, you know, make people feel bad about themselves or make them think that they have to have these same procedures. So to be honest, those are all of the points that I wanted to make. But obviously, if you've got anything to add overall.
But I think that we covered the ground there. It's been interesting for me because I've learned about a couple and some YouTubers that I'm familiar with. But it also helps highlight some good topics for debate, like we've debated, and like in general that work, because they're worth debating outside of YouTube as well, because, you know, it sort of encases quite a lot of different issues and things to think about. But I feel like we've made all the points that were on my head in a way.
I guess just to sum it up, well, it's hard to sum it up because this isn't over. They're still on YouTube every day. You know, there's something new, something weird or problematic that they've done. So I don't know. I can't say how this will end, but I want to say I wish them the best, but it's hard, especially to wish Eileen the best, because at the end of the day, I don't think they're good people. I think there's more hope for Julia. I will say that, because I think the sweet girl I thought she was is in there deep down, but Eileen, I think, is in a lost cause at this point. So yeah, it's interesting. I try not to keep up with it every day because to a certain extent it just ends up making me feel a bit bad, really, all the negativity around them, but they've brought it on themselves, in my opinion. So yeah, what I thought we could do is to finish off with talking about some of our favourite YouTubers who, are generally positive and make us laugh or make us happy or educate us.
Yeah. So, we'll both pick 5 YouTubers. Do you want to start with your first YouTuber? Just explain who they are, what you like about
Sure.
them, that kind of.
So I ended up, I couldn't narrow it down to 5. I forgot to tell you. I've actually got 10 here, so I'm going to try and choose my top 5 out of these ones.
Yeah.
So the first one who stands out to me, I'm going to say Miss Jenna Marbles. I haven't always loved Jenna because her content has changed so much, but I started watching her a few years ago. She just always makes me happy because, one, she has dogs, so I always enjoy watching her dogs. She's been great during this quarantine as well. Her content has just been like, these are sad times, so here's some footage of my dogs. Nothing insensitive like certain other YouTubers who we just spent an hour discussing. Nothing like that, just positivity. And again, she has a boyfriend, but they're not in your face, like, in fact,
No.
I'm even surprised when I even see them holding hands and I'm like, oh yeah, they are a couple. It's not too much at all, to be honest. Yeah, Jenna's just lovely. But who's your first pick?
Okay, well, we'll go old school.
Okay.
This guy is nostalgia to me because he was probably one of the first YouTubers that I watched, and he was the first one that was into who had content about things I was interested in. So like things like video games, collectibles, toys, buying bargain stuff from Poundland, all that kind of stuff, and also acting and being a comedian, and just seemed like a down to earth, relatable guy. This is Ashy.
Yes, I thought it might be.
Stuart Ashy. Yeah, he still, for my money, is responsible for one of the funniest videos on YouTube ever, which was where he reviewed the violin.
Oh yeah. I swear that video
Yeah.
cures my depression every time I watch it. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's really good, and it just shows how it's the simple things in life. All he's doing is reviewing stuff on his brown sofa.
Yeah.
It just shows that sometimes the simple things work. Yeah, in fairness, he's done a lot more as well, but that will be his trademark that it definitely comes back to. But yeah, he'll be the first one. You sort of, even if you're not interested in everything he does, he also does stuff about old computers and that, which I find interesting and that. But yeah, he would be one that I will always stay with, So from when I started YouTube up until the end, So that's my first pick. Who's yours?
Yeah, I do watch him sometimes as well, just not like religiously, but I do love the violin video. Yeah. I would say so. So the next one is one that I mentioned earlier, actually, and that is Molly Burke. So that is the blind YouTuber, and again, I generally find her very positive. I'm sure there's been some controversy, but it's been quite small, to be honest. Generally, I would say she's also all about positivity. I like seeing her guide dog as well. I just love any kind of pet content. I'm interested in how she does things, that we who are not blind don't really even have to think about. She obviously has to think a lot more about. She has a very sweet relationship with her mum as well, whom she lives with and who obviously helps her. But she's also very independent, and she can get things done by herself. And she's just a very competent woman and businesswoman as well. So, we like Molly.
I would definitely look at that. Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really interesting content. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, who's your next one?
Yeah. Right. A young lady. Her name is Suze Kemper.
Okay.
Suze spelled SOOZ, I believe she's spelled.
Suze, okay.
Some people may know of her outside of YouTube because she's a comedian, and
Okay.
she has done the comedy circuit. Her famous act was she used to sing like Christina Aguilera. And when I say sing like Christina Aguilera, she was very good at... Do you know Christina Aguilera does that distinctive thing with her voice? What they might call a vocal mix, the certain noises.
Do you mean runs? I think I know what you mean, but because I don't know musical terms, I don't know how to describe.
Yeah, I think it counts as a vocal lick or something, but she was very good at taking them. It sounded identical to Christina Aguilera. Now, she has a YouTube channel, and she sings. She's a really good singer, and she needs way more subscribers than she's currently got, and likes on her videos.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, she basically does entertaining songs. She adds a bit of comedy to them. She also does like Mickey takes of EastEnders and things. She does like little bits of comedy here and there, but she's got a really good voice. You know, I think she's been in some shows, and she's got a really good voice. So I enjoy her. Find her very likable.
Well, we love some talent.
Yeah, she also appears on other YouTube videos that I watch quite a few other YouTubers. You know that happens sometimes.
Oh yes, I like some collabs.
Yeah. Who's your second one?
Third one, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to pick... Okay, I'm going to go with probably the most controversial person on my list, and that is Miss Blair White. So Blair White is known for being controversial. She is a trans YouTuber, but she is often called transphobic. I personally, unless something else happens, I'm on her side, to be honest. I think, again, she's not without controversy, definitely not, but you know, she's definitely not perfect. However, generally I enjoy her content. She used to make like only political stuff. It was very like anti-SJW, that kind of thing, which to me, I used to watch a lot, but it got a bit old for me because I just started realizing, you know what, there's bad people on all the sides, to be honest. Nobody's perfect. And thankfully she also kind of changed her content in that she'll still do political videos, but it's a lot more of a mixture now. And lately she's taken to exposing people, for example, exposing paedophiles on YouTube, and people like that who, you know, need to be exposed, really, because they're doing a lot of actual harm to people. Now, people will debate about her intentions, you know, is it for the views or is it because she does care about the children? I can't say for sure, but I do like Blair, and I actually follow quite a lot of trans YouTubers just because, like, they all know each other, so that's how I got to find their channels. And so there were a lot of actually trans YouTubers, both men and women, that I could have mentioned, but I just chose Blair because she was the first kind of trans YouTuber that I ever watched, and I still watch her to this day. So yeah, that's Blair.
Very strong material. That does sound very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think the thing is also, you don't, obviously, you're not going to agree with anyone 100%, and you will have your different opinions. So I guess as long as the core of what they're doing seems to be, you know, sort of rightly.
Yeah, sure.
Technically, you know, for a YouTube channel, YouTubers are all aiming to get a certain amount of views, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's as long as they're not being exploited, you know, how they do it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So who's your third one?
Third one. Oh, this is okay. So this is a music one. So
Okay.
this one's singing. I don't know if you've heard of this channel. It's called Postmodern Jukebox.
Oh, that does sound familiar, actually.
Yeah, you might have lots of videos because they probably trend quite a lot. I think they're absolutely excellent. So it's not just one person; it's a whole group of talented musicians.
Okay.
And basically, they do a jazz version of existing songs.
Yes, I have seen one of those.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. They've done anything. They would be doing the stuff that's in the charts now. They'll be doing 70s, 80s classics. They even do things like the theme tune from Mario. They're extremely inventive. And they've also always got little things happening in the background. There'll be people dancing around and doing little skits and stuff. The voice, they're talented on the singers. Are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they sound it.
You know, people cover a song, but these people cover a song in their own very unique way. Yeah.
They certainly put a spin on it. Yeah, I was sent one of their videos because they covered a Lana Del Rey song, and yeah, it was a cool version of it. It was a cool spin on it. So I can see why you like them. Yeah, it was Young and Beautiful, but they may have done more of Lana's songs. I'm not sure.
Probably. I'll have a little look. But
yeah. So I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose Cody Ko as my next one. So he again, I've probably been watching him for a couple of years, and he does commentary videos / comedy videos, and I do find him pretty funny, to be honest. And him and his friend Noel, they started a rap group called the Tiny Meat Gang, which started out as like a joke with joke songs, but now like they go on world tours rapping, so they're doing quite well for themselves, and like their music, well, I enjoy it anyway. It's like, so the songs are still a joke, but at the same time they're actually good, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know what my favorite song of theirs is. Yeah, that's hard to say, to be honest. But I enjoy their music and I enjoy them together. They also have a podcast together.
I do like YouTubers.
Yes, when they have a podcast as well. Yeah, so they're ones who also have a podcast that I listen to. And yeah, so they'll like so Cody will like react to videos, but he'll just make it funny pretty much. I think my favorite why am I going to say episode? I'm tired. My favorite video of his is let's just call it the Sugar Gay episode. To me, that's the funniest one. Like, if I need cheering up, that's the video that I will watch, essentially. So yeah, that's Cody Ko. And by extension, TMG. Who is your fourth one?
Okay. We go a bit left field with this one.
Okay.
Digital. I spoke that one. Digital. No, it's not coming out right. Digitizer. There we go.
Okay.
Digitizer 2000. Now.
Okay.
I'll cut the long story short. Many years ago, there was something called teletext. Some of the older viewers may be aware of it. Some of the younger viewers who like older stuff may be aware of it. Teletext is what we used before the internet.
Right.
But basically, a guy used to do a gaming page on teletext. The guy, his name is Paul Rose, now does this channel, Digitizer.
Okay.
It's not so much just about video games. It's video games and loads of other random stuff they feel like including. The thing that sets them apart is he's very surreal in a sort of Vic and Bob kind of way. And I like that surreal style, so it fits nicely. It will not be for everyone. It will be a bit too surreal for some people. But if you like surreal humour and some generally funny stuff and some interesting features and sometimes informative, give it a go. But yeah, probably sometimes it's a little bit more adulty as well. I've got a disclaimer in it.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. As long as you're doing the disclaimer, unlike some people. Yeah, well, that was definitely a different choice, but it's good that you're like mixing it up. I'm also trying to like mix it up and not pick too similar.
Yeah, you know, there's a word, isn't there, with the kind of content? It's something subversive, is it?
Subversive? Well, that's a word.
Yeah, I think so.
So probably.
Sometimes I'm not sure if I make that word.
No, you're not making it up. So we've reached our 5th choices. So I'm like trying to choose between 2 of them. Okay, I'm going to pick the Unsolved Network, also known as BuzzFeed Unsolved. So BuzzFeed, generally, I just consider to be absolute, like, just pure garbage, to be honest, in terms of their politics and their so-called journalism. Yeah, I used to read their website all the time. It was ridiculous. Just extremely, extremely biased stuff, basically. But some good did come out of BuzzFeed, at least, and out of their YouTube channel, and one of those things was BuzzFeed Unsolved. So that is basically 2 guys, Ryan and Shane, and so Ryan is like the one who does believe in like ghosts and aliens and all that stuff. Shane is the skeptic. So you've got those 2 perspectives, and obviously they play off of each other quite well. And I just find them really funny, honestly. They switch. So like, for example, one season will be true crime, so it will all be about unsolved true crime mysteries, and obviously it's very dark material, some of it, because we're talking about, you know, murder and all these things, but they managed to kind of keep it somewhat light, using the comedy, of course. And then the next season would be Supernatural, and that's when Ryan can kind of really go out with the crazy theories, and also they don't just talk about them, they will like actually go out there and do ghost hunting as well, so that's always entertaining. Yeah, I just really enjoy it. It's been interesting because so they do the actual episode where they discuss the case, and then they do a Q&A video once everyone's seen it, where they answer people's questions about the episode, and so it's been interesting seeing them do those videos in quarantine, because I think they're going increasingly insane by the looks of it. Like, they were always strange, but they're just somewhere else mentally now. So I think we can all relate to that. But yeah, they're very funny guys, and frankly, I would like some of their merch. And I don't usually say that. I don't have like many like YouTuber merch or anything like that, but I would wear their merch for sure. So yeah, a very entertaining channel if you like true crime or anything supernatural.
That sounds like my street.
Yeah.
I fell out a bit of what BuzzFeed were doing on their channel, because I thought
it's
their
a lot.
channel was actually the best part of what they did.
True.
I used to watch this one where they went around trying things like the same thing, like you could have a burger at like 3 different prices.
Oh yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I completely forgot about it. I used to watch that like every week. So
it might still go.
It might still be, yeah. Okay.
And your 5th one?
Yeah, 5th one. Who have I got down here? Oh yeah, this is one that I'm a new member of in terms of subscribing.
Okay.
It's called Chi with the Sea.
Chi with the Sea.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pun on her name, as it goes. young lady who is the regular on the YouTube channel, but she also involves her friends in it. Now, basically, this one went viral because they took off this morning.
Oh, okay.
Two young girls played Fern and Phil.
Right.
The impression so spot on, made me laugh so much. And then I looked up what else they did, and it's all like taking off EastEnders. EastEnders is a bit of a target to be taken off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and a few other programs as well. It's comedy, but they're good. I'm not sure how old they are actually. Out of interest, they might only be like really young. I can't work out if they're like 17, 18. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it sounded like teenagers.
Yeah, they are, but they're funny. They do a good job. Yeah, they're I've never seen anyone take off Phil and Holly so well, and it's been the wrong gender as well.
Exactly, yeah. And the wrong ages.
Yeah.
So they sound quite talented then.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, so
Chi with a C.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay then, so that's how...
Wow, yeah. That was a whole thing. That was an analysis. That was a discussion, I suppose. And then, we ended it with some positivity.
Yeah,
some positive vibes.
Yeah. No.
Wow, okay. How should we sign off?
I think, what should we do? Should we nick the one show one? Where we say, I'll say it's goodbye from your name, and you say it's goodbye from me.
Well, first of all, we can do that. First of all, I just want to say, it's completely normal to get a bit caught up with negativity on YouTube or anything to do with celebrities, but just kind of try and take a step back sometimes and remember to, have some positivity there as well, and focus on the positives too, because it will start to affect your mental health if you're only looking at the negatives. So I would just give that advice.
Yeah, there are actually some channels that are very good with a positivity focus. I can quickly throw out, now that you said that, she reminded me, I'm going to plug Mel C, former Spice Girl.
Okay.
You don't need to like her as a Spice Girl. I mean, I think she's a great singer, but you don't even have to like her as a singer. If you watch her regular videos she's been doing live, she's got it down to TH. She's so good at promoting the positivity. What she talks
that
about
makes a change.
Yeah, I made it. Her videos she's been doing made me like her even more. So just like you're saying, she's saying about to make sure you're focusing on positive stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely.
YouTube, like any platform, obviously you get a mix of positive and negative, but there will be certain channels or certain areas that will be more one than the other, won't they? So
exactly. Have a mixture. Yeah, have a balance.
And if you've got your own YouTube channel, then you can make your own positive videos.
Right, yes, you can make the platform just a little bit more positive as well.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Well, we will thank you very much for listening to our podcast, and hopefully we'll do another one soon.
Yep, and it's goodbye from Ben.
And it's goodbye from Nick from the Run Show.
Goodbye.